Hey everybody, this is Eli Freestone, and you're watching my week 3 reflection video for mobile game design, term 1411. This week we're just extending our to the beta version of our game, mine being a space shooter in Sprite Kit. And overall this week was fairly easy because I had actually already implemented some of the stuff in prior weeks, such as the animations, which I did last week with the explosion, and the win-lose condition I had in week 1. So on and so forth. So overall, the week was fairly simple. I did do some tweaks and added some elements and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of the main requirements had actually already been finished. I already have it pulled up with Air Server from my iPad here. This would be the loose screen. I added in a button, which is actually just a label within the win-lose screen, so it doesn't automatically restart the game for you. You do have to select the try again, the blue text there, and it'll start the game for you. I've added in not only the pause button in the top left, I also moved my lives and score to the top, and then I felt the pause button worked best in the top left corner, and I did actually even try that originally as a pause logo, the two vertical bars that you find on a CD player or whatever, and then having it change to a play logo. But it just looked out of place compared to everything, all the other elements in the game. So I decided to go back to the label of resume game, although I think I could probably even drop the game part and just say resume or pause. It does function correctly, though. It works quite nicely up there. And I've also added in, I decided to implement to add a little bit more of a challenge to the game, that it won't shoot the laser ball until after the fighter has twisted to the location. And that works beautifully. It does add a lot of extra difficulty in the game, and especially on larger screens like the iPad. But it has introduced a kind of weird bug that I haven't been able to figure out or find a workaround. And I'll show that to you real quick here. If you rapid fire, you can see that the sprite of the laser ball gets stuck on top of the fighter. That only happens when you rapid fire, and it happens inconsistently. Like sometimes it could be 3 shots in a row, in reasonably quick succession. Other times you have to shoot 6, 7 times really fast before it'll do it. But it does do it. It's always connected to rapid fire. Single shots, even double shots, almost never pop it up. Although I have had it pop up on a double shot within the simulator, never on the iPad though. So yeah, I haven't really figured out what's going on with that, but it does seem to be related to, I'm running the actions of the laser ball within the completion block of the run action to twist the fighter, and it seems to be something related to that. I just haven't figured out a good workaround. I tried a couple of different things, but ended up causing more issues than I was able to solve, such as various crashes and whatnot, or the sprite no longer showing up after X amount are shot. Stuff that I couldn't even really figure out, honestly. So unfortunately, that is currently in there. It's just a little bit of a bug. It doesn't actually cause any issues other than seeing that laser ball floating above the fighter, which is annoying, but it doesn't stop the game from playing or anything along those lines. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the requirements real quick. So I already had the sprite animation. I'm doing the explosion, and I'm actually using that as a texture atlas. And I did a lot of research trying to figure out the how to use a sprite sheet that has all 4 of my explosions in one sheet within SpriteKit. It doesn't seem to actually be a built-in feature, but as far as I could tell, Texture Atlas is essentially the same thing, although it starts out with the 4 different images and then builds them into what equates to a sprite sheet, as the atlas. So I am animating via that, like I was last week. All right, so then we have the working pause button, which works quite well. I'm definitely happy with the way that's coming out. And then other GUI elements, we already had the score and the lives, which I've moved up top, which I think works better in that context as well. The visual feedback, I also added in a red flashing screen whenever a spaceship gets passed. That works quite well as well, although it does kind of create a little bit of a delay within the simulator. It's never done it on any other device. I've tested it on my iPad and then a friend's iPhone. I believe it's a 4S, and neither of those had any issues with that whatsoever. But every once in a while, the very first time that does that of a run with the iPhone simulator, actually I'll just pop that onto the simulator real quick, just to show that I also have the appropriate entity sizes. Let's see if we can. Oh, it's not going to do it apparently that time. But I do have some issues with the simulator when I'm screencasting anyway, so it is going to slow down a little bit. Anyway, so we have also the game win-lose conditions, and yeah, I guess that's about it. This has been Eli Freestone, week 3 for MGD, term 1411. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.